You're listening to Happy, Healthy Hormones with Dr. Chris. Are you tired of the short-term patch to your health problems? Is avoiding medications and surgeries important to you? If you answered yes, then your prayers have been answered. Dr. Chris has been helping people transform their health for over a decade. He's a world-renowned health expert who specializes in holistic health. He's a professional speaker, chiropractor, and international best-selling author. It's his mission to help you reach your full God-given potential through holistic health and healing. Get ready to be inspired and transformed. Here's your host, Dr. Chris.
Hey everyone, and welcome. This is the show where disease takes a dive and people come to thrive. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about how to reset that metabolism. You know, people think about metabolism and they think it's just about losing weight. Well, it actually has a lot more to do with some other important areas and physiology of your life, but a lot of people don't understand that. And so, you know, they just keep going through life, having low energy, gaining weight, just really feeling like crap. And the fact is, there are some simple things you can do right now that will help increase your metabolism. But here's the thing. There are certain areas of your body where you want to slow down your metabolism because it will age you faster. That's right. So it's not all about just speed, and more metabolism. How do we get that ramped up? Because there are certain areas that is just going to create havoc in your body. So today I want to teach you a few things. I want to teach you how to boost your metabolism naturally. I want to help you understand how things like green tea and other natural herbs can help assist in that process, and how just doing the right types of exercise in just a few minutes a day can make a world of difference, and really how good fats will actually help burn other fats and it will actually slow down the aging process, and how to get your body losing weight and give you some additional steps you can actually help take to get your health where you want it to be. Because we just don't want you to have your health look good from the outside. That's great and all, but that's a short-term solution. We want to make sure you're getting well on the inside, right? Making sure your hormones are working like they're supposed to, making sure your inside physiology is working like it's supposed to, because that is going to give you the long-lasting changes that you're looking for, right? That's going to allow you to keep being able to play with your grandkids. This thing is going to be able to keep you enjoying the passions in your life, the hiking, the being outdoors person, or just being able to help serve others as well. So, I just want to take a minute too for thanking you listeners out there that have just made us the podcast that we are today. And the listeners are awesome, and I love you guys, and I hope we can continue to just impact more lives, because the more that we share this knowledge and things like this show and just the resources that we provide for people and get people challenging the way they think about their health, then we can help people get one step closer to overcoming a disease, overcoming a challenge, an obstacle that they're facing in their life. And so today, let's really get into it today. So again, I thank you for just helping explode the show that we're doing here today and impacting thousands, if not tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of lives at this point. So let's understand really what's going on. What is metabolism, right? Like, is it good? Is it bad? What's going on with that? So it's how fast we age, but it's also how we digest food, and it's also having to do with how fast we break down food, right? So metabolism has several different meanings to it when it comes to different areas of our body. Now, when we look at this, you have to understand and say, okay, what areas of your body do you want to have a fast metabolism, and which ones do you want to maybe slow down? So when you are looking at fat and you're wanting to get the fat off of you, yes, you want to speed up that metabolism. However, when it comes to the aging process, we all hate those wrinkles, right? We want to make sure that we slow down that aging process. Can you do both at the same time? The answer is yes. So just to give you a little perspective, the Journal of Cell Metabolism did a study, and what they showed was just having a brief 6-minute workout would turn on DNA. That's right, the gene activation would turn on or off disease just from doing 6 minutes of exercise. So you can literally start to slow down that aging process right there, that slow down that disease process just by getting your butt moving. So let's look at what it takes to slow down metabolism and why we want to do that. So if you have a really high metabolism in different areas of your body, you will have an early death. It's Hands down, that's what happens. Now, sugar speeds up metabolism. Now, it speeds up the aging process. And when you say, well, Dr. Chris, I thought if you eat more sugar, you get more fat. Well, that's true. But here's what happens. They did a study with worms, and worms have a very similar pathway as humans when it comes to processing sugar. And what they found was that those worms had a shortened lifespan by 50% when they were just fed sugar. So it makes a big deal, right? It also has to do with, in humans, if we're eating a lot of carbs, so how do we hydrolyze things like wheat protein? We look at things like high fructose corn syrup, all just different forms of sugar, but the higher sugar content we have, the higher insulin levels we have throughout our body, which equals a shorter lifespan. Now, in America, we consume a ton of sugar, and you probably don't even realize it, but the average American consumes 2.7 pounds a week of sugar. Now, you think, well, Dr. Chris, I don't have this sugar, I don't have sweets, I don't eat that kind of stuff, but it's in areas and things you don't even think about. But it is directly linked to the top 4 disease killers and premature aging. So if you want to age up or speed up your aging process, just keep eating that sugar. But if you want to slow that down, start looking and feeling younger, get the sugar out. Now, it is hidden in all kinds of areas. Now, we look at it, break it down. I mean, it's in things like condiments, like ketchup, for crying out loud. Packaged foods, it's a preservative as well as a food I don't want to say additive, but it is an additive too that they have, but it really forces your body to become addicted to the foods. And that's why the food companies a lot of times put that stuff in there when they try to get away with as much as they can, because it just starts to create those cravings, right? I mean, for crying out loud, you will even see this in salt. That's right, salt. Like if you go into, I think it's Morton salt, and you look at the back ingredients, the second ingredient after salt is sugar. What's going on there? You can't hide from it. Look at the whole grains. You look at even gluten-free things, because a lot of people are into this myth that, hey, if it's gluten-free, it must be healthy. I can put it in my body. But guess what? The gluten-free stuff is just another form of sugar. And then there's a lot of other hidden sources that I can't even begin to list, different names that they hide the sugar under, you name it. But here's the thing. Sugar is sticky, right? It doesn't just stick to your fingers. It sticks to proteins. And it leads to what's called advanced glycosolidated end product. It's a big word. Glycosolidated end product. But what that really stands for is AGE, which is age. It ages you. That's what happens. So understand that. Now, when we look at how do we stabilize our metabolism? Well, number one is we want to look at fat. Fat is the key to stabilizing our metabolism, because here's the deal. When we have low fat, it is replaced by sugar, and that is going to spike our insulin levels. And remember, that tells us that that's going to create us being a sugar burner, which is going to burn out leptin, which is the fat burning hormone, right? So you want to increase leptin. You want to have leptin hormone, these levels of hormones, insulin, leptin, at the right levels. And so what happens is when the body doesn't get the right nutrients, meaning you're putting a lot of sugar in your body or just not getting the right forms of fats and the right ratios of carbs, proteins, and everything else, your body starts to burn sugar, which starts to create cravings. And now when your body does get food inside, it starts to store those calories as fat. Now, here's the cool thing. When we actually eat good sources of fat, it'll stop this. In fact, things like olive oil, coconut oil, any form of coconut almost, except for like the nasty Almond Joy bars. Yeah, those won't do it. But nuts, avocados, meats, eggs, all these good sources of fat will actually start to burn other fat. It will start that hormone process in our bodies, which will start to cultivate that burning of the fat and the processes in that. So these will promote metabolism. These will burn sugar, sure, but they will burn fat and help stabilize your body. So that is a huge thing, because when I look down to it, there's so many stories about this kind of thing happening in people's lives, and it just wreaks havoc, and they a lot of times have no idea what's creating these problems or what they can do to get well. In fact, one of the stories I think of is this woman named Debbie, a patient of mine years ago, had gone 20 years down the conventional road, medications, drugs, you name it, was having headaches, weight gain issues. I mean, she couldn't lose weight to save her life. No energy at this point. I mean, she just felt like lifeless. She just couldn't handle life. She just felt lost. She just thought she had to accept this awful life that had been created around her. And, she found us somehow, and we started to apply these different principles to stabilize her metabolism and start to change some lifestyle things and do some other advanced things for her to help get her body back on track. And they weren't crazy hard things, but just back to some simple principles. And she started to get committed to changing her body and getting the right things and getting the good fats in and starting to really look at things and change what was putting in her body and starting to get some things out of her life that were creating havoc. And, just started to do things different. That was the biggest thing. She started to do something different and, end up losing over 50 pounds, headaches disappeared, energy levels through the roof, and just has a glow about her now and just was able to develop a purpose in her life and get back to some things that she was really passionate about that she kind of lost track of, right? Because she just thought, you know what? This is my life. I can't do this thing that I really love doing anymore. But that's just usually not the case. So what can we do? Foods, low carb diets, get the carbs from veggies. Don't be dependent on those carb fillers. I love green tea too because it promotes healthy metabolism, promotes insulin production, decreases inflammation, and burns fat. Don't add sugar to it though, right? Apple cider vinegar, I love this too. It promotes digestive health, right? Which is also going to help your body metabolize things better as well. Another natural herb is rhodiola. Love this one too. It's a great thing to supplement, especially if you're having these issues for fat burning. A lot of similar properties to green tea. And then just do yourself a favor. Don't eat right before you go to bed and at least wait a couple hours. And then sleep. Sleep is one of the biggest things. Sets your metabolism. Less sleep equals a slower metabolism equals more weight gain. There was a 2014 study that showed that people that had electronics in their room had an increased metabolism for hunger, a decreased metabolism for fat, and their sleep was hugely affected. So get those electronics out of the room. Make sure that, again, the phones, the TVs, everything you can, just try to get it out. And avoid those things at least 30 to 60 minutes prior to going to bed. And please do not take sleeping pills. Those are so dangerous. I mean, my own mother had a TIA, which is basically a stroke, just from having consistently taking those things. And, it could be, for some people, it's just once taking them. For some people, it might be, the sixth straight year of taking them that they have a major effect from that. But again, it's just not worth it. You can do things naturally. It just takes time. Remember, we can't get healthier by putting in interference in our body. So until next time, you don't need any help healing, just no interference.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please help more people in reaching their fullest potential and rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. For show notes and other free resources we mentioned today, go to newedgewellness.com.